Hi, welcome to the series of talks about operational safety excellence by EHS. In the series, I interview experienced safety people to get insights for the community. Here is my interview with Jaap de Bruin. In his previous role, Jaap worked as corporate SHE manager for DSM, and in that capacity, we worked together on the global rollout of EHS at all DSM production locations around the world. Currently, Jaap works as a safety consultant, but also by caring about his environment as a forester. I think many would describe Jaap as a wise owl. I've tried to tap into his wisdom during this interview. We talked about what kind of leadership creates results in the safety domain. What is the kind of attitude you need to succeed to create this excellent safety culture and excellent processes. And that is what makes operational safety excellence. Enjoy and share your feedback with me.
Thanks for taking the time. Let's take a look at some remaining questions that I had.
Okay.
So you now have a very broad perspective on safety. Years at the DSM, but now working in healthcare, few other companies added to your experience.
Yeah.
So if you look at the community of safety people, I have three questions. What should they stop doing? What should they continue doing? And what should they do differently?
The group of safety professionals you
Yes.
mentioned specifically.
Yes, safety professionals.
What I experienced myself is that the work of a safety professional is completely different according to the phase of which the company is in his safety development. When you start doing safety for the first time, you have to do all kind of other things than when you are a high developed company in safety. And then you see also that the role of the SHE professional, of the safety professional, is completely different in the different situations.
And so how would you characterize the behavior that they should, and the things they do in the earlier stages towards later stages?
Yeah, in the earlier stages, it is more that the safety professional is doing all kind of operational work, like approval of procedures or measurement of things, while the safety professional in the more developed companies is more an advisory function. Is more the conscious of the company, so it's a completely other role than when you start as a safety professional in a low developed or lower developed company. Yeah. So you cannot say in general what should a safety professional stop doing or start doing. It will develop, and you need also in the course of the time when the safety situation develops in the company, you need other type of people for this role.
And how would you characterize that? So what's the changing mindset?
Now, let's say that they more people that can analyze the situation, that can have good advising capabilities, that do more inspiring work than executing work. So they should stop executing work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and how do you inspire?
Yeah, that is about asking questions. Asking questions. Asking questions is basically a very strong tool to inspire people. Let people think themselves and challenge them. Continuous challenging questions, and not saying as a safety professional you have to do that and that and that because in the procedure is written that and that. So you have to do that, and if you don't do that, you do not follow the company policy on safety, and you will be punished or something like that.
So is this what you should do in the beginning?
Yeah, but in the beginning you have to you have to, of course, you have to set a standard. Management is doing that, but also I always had the impression that safety professionals are a little bit misused for that.
Yeah.
That they are in a position that they are kind of policing agent.
Yeah.
And that is possibly in the beginning it will work, but after a certain time it will not work anymore. And you should stop policing. That will not help in the end. To come further.
Okay. So I guess part of the inspiration is giving people another viewpoint, right? So do you have like a method? So how do you guide them? Because you want them to behave in a certain way, maybe towards more responsibility, or so what's your recipe?
Now, I also think that there is not one recipe. I think it also depends on the situation. And the whole context of a company, how the people work and what are the bounding conditions are very, very important to take into account for what you should do. Oh. And so there is not a recipe, do that and it will result in that result. No. You have to look into the situation where what is going on here, why is it going on here, and where are the opportunities to improve.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But in a sense, the inspiration is also it really. I just looked it up like a couple of days ago. It comes from Latin, right? And it means like you breathe in something. So you take something like an idea or a thought, you take it in, and then it starts to live.
Yeah.
As a living being.
Yeah. What you see also is that when the safety culture develops, that the top down. In the first phases, then the management is saying what should be done. It is completely top down, and when you further develop, you can the ideas on the shop floor are going to be more important, and you try to do something with their ideas, and that in the end not only the top is running safety, but also it is completely that also the people on the shop floor are living safety, and not just because the manager says they have to work safe, but because they want to work safe themselves.
Yeah,
that is in the end what you like to achieve.
So that sounds like a kind of serving leadership, right? You basically set some boundaries, and then you basically advise and help people at shop floor level to kind of reach their goals or the goals.
Yeah, and of course there are a lot of ideas on the shop floor, but not all these ideas are the real ideas you should follow. You should be selective in that, and you should support the shop floor in challenging their ideas. So there is a safety professional, I think, is very important for that. To find the good ideas from the shop floor, and also to support these ideas and defend them in a higher management to get them done.
Oh yeah, that sounds interesting. So you really need that background of safety to kind of also help the people scan out. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of possibilities for investment, but you really have to help them find the nuggets.
Yeah.
And then help them sell them to the higher management.
To the higher management, yeah. So that's always the way I have worked myself.
Yeah.
I had let's say in both I had the shop floor trusted me as a safety professional, but also the management trusted me. So when when there were good ideas, there was a good chance that they were also realized.
Good.
Yeah.
So what were some of the gold nuggets that you found?
Yeah. Now I always remember that there was one company in Spain. They had always a big problem with with the quality of the product, because the whole surface of the plant was not asphalted. It was sand, and when it was blowing the wind, the sand was blowing through the whole plant and everything. And they already had asked for an asphalting of their area to the higher management, but it was always refused because asphalting the area is not giving any, let's say, financial benefits. It only costs money. And they were always, year in and year out, they were that investment proposal was refused. And when I came there, of course, I was confronted with the same idea, and I thought, you are completely right. This is something that is not only beneficial for quality, but it is also beneficial for safety, because there were all kind of holes in the area and whatever.
Yeah.
And then this investment was done.
Yeah.
The people in the company, they could not believe their eyes that it was.
So what was the change? Because they were pitching this idea for like many years, and
the change was that they could realize this. Yeah. The whole the change was then that their product, a lot of quality product problems disappeared, because there was no sand blowing anymore in the factory and polluting the product and whatever. So they could in the end produce a good product. So their product improved, and the whole spirit improved by that. Yeah. And they were encouraged to find to bring forward more ideas.
Okay.
So there was one thing, and that resulted in a whole,
And so, did you help them make a better pitch, or what happened? Because they were saying we need this asphalt for years and years and years.
Yeah, and I said to the boss when I was back in the headquarters, and that is an investment that should be done, and it should not be cancelled this time.
Okay.
There's no way that you cancel it.
Okay, so you understood it and basically used your position then to just help them get it done.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I think that is also a very important task of the safety professional, that when there is something needed to improve, that you stand for that and that you defend that in your higher management.
So you draw the line and say, okay, this is the minimum boundary that we need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good, great.
And I think that this is a typical example, but you find that principle. I found that principle a lot of times. Oh. That you see a situation and you say, okay, this is not acceptable and we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of accepted situations that are, let's say, normalized. The standard is always, it was not questioned. So a lot of possibly dangerous situations are there and nobody asks questions about it anymore. But as soon as you come there and you see that therefore, it is good to have some distance, and you see that there, and then and then what you also see then is then when you tackle that point, you find a lot of people who always said, yes, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
And support you.
So you find support.
Yeah.
Good.
So you should not be political. Because that will not help.
Yeah. So how are you not political? So what's the behavior that goes with being non-political?
Yeah, you should have your own. I have always taken that what is important is to make it more safe, and not to say what the boss is saying. If the boss saying saying that we should do something which is unsafe. You will find on his way the safety professional. Yeah. He should not give in there. Yeah. Also not to the boss, but also not to the work floor. He should go for safety. He is the conscious of the company. He or she is the conscious, and he sets the standard.
Yeah.
What is acceptable and what is not acceptable.
Yeah. So sometimes I find when I talk to hardcore safety people and we start thinking about starting up something in our domain, then when I start talking about the efficiency aspects of safety, they go like, "Oh, I am really not interested in that, because we just need whatever it takes to get a job done safely."
No, it's not true.
So tell me about it.
No. I think that efficiency and safety goes hand in hand. Make it as simple as possible. I am very in favor of lean projects, because lean projects, you have to, that is focusing on your process capability, on your on how can you do it the first time right in a good way, and that also helps for safety, because if your processes, basically safety is a result of a good controlled process. And if you do on improvement of your processes, then you also work on safety. So
exactly.
that same accounts for quality.
Yeah.
That is also, if you have your processes better in control, the result is better quality. The result is better safety.
Exactly. Usually, a lot of these lean approaches start by just asking questions and basically finding out where's the waste here, where's the non-value adding stuff.
Yeah, the waste, cut out the waste. That is and that is for safety also tremendously important.
Yeah.
If you can make it simpler, if you can abandon procedures, if you can abandon unnecessary steps, it's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
fantastic.
But sometimes there's this maybe coming from the culture that you were describing. Okay, we used to have the safety professionals saying, okay, just follow the rules. Here are the rules. Follow them. And that kind of also builds like an attachment to those rules.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to say a couple of years later, okay, we had this rule that somebody had to check this, but we now found another solution, and that person is not going to check anymore.
No. So if you can make work simpler and cutting rules, that's a difficult task, by the way. So adding extra rules is simple.
Yeah.
But simplify and stop with things is much more difficult.
And what makes it difficult?
Yeah, because people are uncertain. They are used to the way of working, and if you stop that, then they think, possibly it's not going well, and possibly something can happen which I do not know, or we know that it worked a little, at least did work, and what will happen in the future. So I think there's a lot of uncertainty.
And is that uncertainty like higher at shop floor level, or is it management, or both?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah, both.
And how do you get through that?
Yeah, I would say start small.
Yeah.
Start small. If you start small and you have a success there, that builds confidence, and then you can make a next step, and then you can make a next step. And I would say the way we implemented the work permit process in DSM is a typical example of that, I think.
So can you describe that a little bit?
Now, I remember the day that I visited the site in Delft.
Yeah.
And there, people on the shop floor, they approached me and they said, we have a fantastic system for work permits. And that should be done in whole DSM. And we are completely confident that this is the best system in the world, and you should do that. And I was confronted with that idea. I said, okay, I will, if you are so convinced and you are so, then I support you, and we will try to fight it, and we will try to analyze it further, and we will try to analyze it, try to further implement it in DSM. Mm-hmm. And now then it started first with small sites in other parts of DSM. We introduced it, and more sites were convinced that it was a good system. And then we started to standardize it all, and we made a DSM standard where people could compare themselves. And then there was a situation that suddenly a couple of plants in the United States wanted it. They had heard it, and they really wanted to have it. and so on and so on. And at a certain moment, more and more people started to use it. And at a certain moment, we had an enough mass in the company that when there was a good opportunity, after an incident or whatever, where the work permit system was criticized, now what shall we do now? Now let's do that. There are a lot of people doing that already, and then let's say the whole company decided to use this as a standard for whole DSM. And I'm proud of that, because I feel that I have been really contributing to that success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the process of scaling, there's a process of scaling. People do kind of the same system and kind of the same methodology. You guys went like a layer deeper, also in standardizing the combination of a way of working, but also incorporating your life-saving rules.
Yeah.
But in a global landscape, from China to Brazil and from Argentina to Australia.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So was there any phase where you thought, okay, we're not going to manage this on one standard? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Because corporate function always says we have to standardize. And the local people always says, we are different, and that standardizing that helps, that doesn't help. So there's a lot of tension between the corporate vision and the local vision. Yeah. And now that is difficult. Yeah. And a lot of people say now we are different, and we are not the same as the people in Australia. We are here in whatever it may be. Yeah. We are different, and still they have to do the same. So it is a lot of work that you have to talk a lot. You have to invite them to look somewhere else, to go there, to talk with the people, to challenge them, to find ideas. So you have a lot of, let's say, smear olie, they say.
Yeah, exactly.
To help the organization to make this change. Yeah. And I think that is also a very good example of what a safety, health, environment, safety manager can do. Yeah. To be a kind of oil in the system, and help people to see where you can also find other ideas or other solutions, because most people on the site they live on that site and they don't see what the other side is doing. Yeah.
No, I know. I think what was also critical is that we went at some moment like 10, 15 sites. And then they were still on this individual path. And then we made this big comparison. Yeah. And we kind of started drawing out with these guys, okay, what's the common denominator here? And then people started seeing, hey, in this area, I'm really the outlier. And in this area, they are the outlier. And that kind of also builds something, I think, like the wisdom of the crowd, something very strong. And then we say, okay, this is the standard, right? Yeah. and then they said, yes, this is the standard. Yeah. And I think then the experience with the following plans was, okay, but this is really a good standard. This is actually helping us.
Yeah. And it is of course connected to the requirements of the company. Yeah. Because a system and the requirements of the company shall be connected. Yeah. And sometimes, you have to be in a position to make that work. Yeah. That if there is a requirement not complete or not good, that you are in a position to change that.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's of course not so easy, especially not for people on the site, and that are, let's say, faced with a couple of rules coming from where to change that if that is not good. Yeah. Yeah. But when I was working in corporate, I was always very keen on that if people say, this is a requirement, this is completely nonsense, that we also pick that up and change that.
Of course, so I think it's never done. What we also now see, moving from the sort of larger to mid-sized plants to the really small ones, they might seem small, but they have like all the risks.
They have all the risks. All the risks.
Yeah. And then it's.
They have not the capability to assess that risks.
Exactly. So if that's kind of the experience now is that they basically say, oh, Now I don't have to go through all these binders and stuff, and it's accessible, and I understand what is needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it is. I think I found it in my working experience the nicest position of the company.
Yeah.
You see everything. You see every plant.
Yeah.
You see the shop floor. You see the supervisory level. You see the middle management. You work with the top management. It is, and you have more or less everything. You can go there and ask questions and challenge them. So it is for me. It was the perfect fit to
do that role. Yeah.
To do that role. Yeah.
So does it require like a specific skill to have the ability to kind of connect at shop floor level and also boardroom or plant management?
Yeah, that is of course ideal. If you have a person who can do that, connection as well to all the levels in the company, that is, I think, a very, very essential quality of a person. Yeah.
Otherwise, it's kind of hard to get something. Thanks.
Okay.